Welcome to Stay Curious, everybody. I'm your host, Mark Marquette, and we broadcast live from the American Space Museum in downtown Titusville 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. Couldn't do it without Marty Winkle, my co producer, and we've been doing this over 5 years. And we're very grateful for everybody watching today, and we want to make it as good as possible. So if we have a false start every now and then, please forgive us for that. But we're going to celebrate 4 of the 12 beautiful shuttles of the month of October. Marty, you worked on the Space Launch System and the engines of the shuttle there for its whole career. Marty also was on the Grumman lunar module team that built the lunar module. 6 of them landed on the moon. So these are great missions, Marty, where we've got a construction mission in 92. We're going to talk about the 4 in the middle. STS-34, an interplanetary mission that sent Galileo to Jupiter. In 58 and 73, 2 years apart, were bedrocks for 58 was the life sciences that are being done today on the International Space Station. They did over 500 experiments on themselves, Marty, sticking themselves with needles and putting probes all over their bodies. And in STS-73 was an engineering mission to test things in the cargo bay of the shuttle that are now being applied to at the International Space Station. So hope that you enjoy our look at the shuttles of the month. Every month, we're the only ones who do that. We got a couple good ones the rest of the month, including John Glenn at age 77 going to space in 1998. Marty, you and everybody that loves getting autographs. I'm talking about Bill Whiting and Tammy Miller and Connie McDaniel and even and myself when I get out there. It's always fun to go out to the astronaut encounter. You were out there today. A couple months ago, I was walking up to it, and there's Mike Baker talking to one of the Kennedy Space Center employees there, just hanging out in his blue suit. It's fun to watch people walk by and they don't even look at an astronaut. And I say, why wouldn't you? There's 636 humans that have orbited the Earth, and there's one good one, Mike Baker. And when we go out there, we wait in line. There's Marty with, I think that's Anita there, her back turned to us. J.D. Bartow's the astronaut a year or so ago. You go up to the gift shop, you stand in line. They spend a cordial amount of 5 minutes or so with you and autograph a few things, and everybody's a happy camper, including you with Joni Higginbotham there. Look how beautiful she is. I can't wait to go out and hear her talk tomorrow, Marty. She's been the astronaut, fly with an astronaut, I believe. But is the first time she's done this talk and autographed? Did she say that or?
No, but I think it's the first time since 2022, I think was the last time she was there.
Okay, well, it's been a while, and I had a long, engaging talk with her at the Scholarship Hall of Fame in June, and she lived in Titusville for 6 years, was a space worker, working under Jay Honeycutt, in fact, and became a astronaut. So I can't wait to hear her story. So, Marty, you're looking good there too. And I appreciate y'all wearing your American Space Museum garb out there. Busy weekend. What's not busy about October, November, and December? Everybody knows that. Every weekend you're pulled to what you can do and what you want to do and then what you're told to do. Okay, some of us. Melbourne Independent Filmmakers Festival is going to be this weekend, and I'm so pleased that Mr. Jay Honeycutt's documentary on human spaceflight is going to be shown at this event. We're not going to show it yet to you Stay Curious fans. We will do it in good time. But Mr. Honeycutt did this to help the museum make money, and we've stumbled on a film festival that we could show our documentary. Also, Saturday is going to be the untold story of Martin Caidin, the man behind the $6 Million Man, and also the Marooned movie and Hollywood blockbuster for its time. I've watched that, and that's very fascinating. And Jim Lewis is the force behind all that. So So we'll be taking that in tomorrow. Tomorrow at Friday, we've got Eric Baker's going to come in and do another behind the scenes of the Launch Control Center. Okay. And, but we hope to get out of here in 45 minutes or so I can hit this 6 o'clock showing over in Melbourne. It's about a 50-minute drive. So, also, Bob Seek, the legendary shuttle manager and launch director, um, is going to do an evening of a talk, questions and answers at the Italian American Club in Melbourne. That's the Ugali district. Tickets are on sale now. $40 a person. It's a mini fundraiser for the museum. If you're local, go to the Italian American Club official.com website there and help us out there. And we get to keep about half that money. And it's a delicious lasagna dinner. And we're going to really twist our board of directors' arms and everybody to come hear Bob talk. What an amazing person he is. And Marty, I don't think you can write the short story of the Space Shuttle Era without Bob Seek being included in it, right? And Marty's also on our board of directors, and I know Marty will be there. Our sponsor today is Chuck Jeffrey of Bid Again Auctions. For over 30 years, he's been looking at space memorabilia, trained by the greats of the world like Ken Havocott and the autograph authority, Zarella. Not John Zarella, but a different Zarella. And you can email something to him. He'll look at it and give you a quick idea of what you may have and what to do with it. He might not appraise it right then, but it's a free analysis. As you're always cautious about what you see in today's world, particularly. We've got the 40th auction is a week from Saturday, noon to 5. You can bid now on over 350 lots. Marty, did you look at some of these beautiful models? Wow, I would love to have that lunar module. Marty owns one as a Grumman worker. That could go for $1,000 easily. They're kind of small, a little smaller than my coffee mug, wouldn't you say, Marty? About that height in there, but also the Gemini module. These are contractor modules that built this Atlas rocket on the far left, and these are well made and just cherished by collectors out there. Just a hint of what is on our 40th charity auction. Cliff Watson, is he on board there? I hadn't beamed up my thing there. This is Cliff Watson in Pomona, Australia. He is our Stay Curious watcher of the day, okay? And you've all been communicating with Cliff. He is not being shy of broadcasting to us men that he has prostate cancer. He has been given a terminal date of 3 to 5 years. God bless you, brother. I've met him several times. He sat in this chair, I think 4 times. Came during the solar eclipses we had 7 years apart. And but we're thinking of you, buddy, and hang in there. There's a picture he posted on Facebook. After all, Marty, he is down under. All right. Literally down under. There's Cliff. He posted this picture a day or two ago that his wife caught him working on an air conditioning unit on a vehicle. That's what he does. He's an expert in car electrical stuff. He actually fixed the tailgate of my Jeep. I had a little bit of electrical problem there. So looks like he might be joining us late from Pomona, Australia. But, and he is literally down under, folks. There's where Pomona, Australia is in Queensland. Okay, the state of Queensland there. And I'm looking at that, Marty, and I'm seeing Jakarta, I'm seeing Indonesia, I'm seeing New Zealand. I want to go. I want to go visit Cliffy, man. I've never been in that neck of the earth. Okay, but that's most of the population of Australia is on the east side there. This is near Brisbane. That's the Gold Coast of surfing is there. So, and this is Pomona. Okay, I pulled up something on there. Pomona is a hinterland village of Noosa Shire with a distinct heritage, character, and identity. That is Mount uh, Conor. I gotta get the dialect down. Corora, Cooroora. So I bet they call it Kurura. I bet they call it Kurura there. That's like a devil's tower in the middle of Pomona. All right. This is an hour, 2 hours drive north of Brisbane, uh, and it's about 15 miles west of Noosa Heads. It is home to an active and connected community of 3,000 people. Uh, it's known for its scenic hinterland setting and a proximity to several national parks, including Noosa National Park and Great Sandy National Park, as well as the Noosa Trails Network and Kurura Mountain there. So there's some insight to where the day-to-day for Cliff Watson is in there. And we've got some good comments there. Looking forward to another show. Dave Stange is. That's great. And but thank you. And Cliff, there you are, buddy. Got a little ponytail going. I caught the Finley up there. That's my hometown name, Finley, on that license plate, Marty. So there must be a Finley, Australia somewhere. So, Cliffy, when you get on here, you wind it up in the back because we're giving you a lot of love. And hang in there, and God bless you. All right, Shuttles of October, Marty. We've got the 12 beautiful shuttles. They really, as every month, is the gamut of exploration. My cheat sheet is over there on my desk. I think of the 12, I think Discovery had the most, and of 4, and then Endeavor and Columbia maybe had 3 each. That's why I have the D's and stuff on there. Who was shut out was Endeavor. No flights for the 105, OV 105 in October. So let's get into them a little bit. We're going to talk about the ones in the middle there, launched from October 11th to October 20th. And first up is number 92. This is not year order. This is chronological order. And we're going to give you a quickie of the artwork on here on today's show. 92 does not follow 87, 89, 90, 91, 95, 90, 88. All right, so where's 92? There we are. Gosh, 92 is really out of sequence. What year? 2000. That'll help me. 92, there's 99, and there we are, 92. Wow. This patch symbolizes the second mission to carry U.S.-built elements to the International Space Station. The black silhouette of the Space Shuttle Discovery is shown against a deep blue background of space in low Earth orbit. In the foreground is a gray profile view of the ISS as it appears when the Space Shuttle and crew arrive. You can see the gray outline. That's what the ISS looked like with the solar panels on the side there. We see Marty. And it consists of Unity node, its 2 pressurized mating adapters, the Zarya functional cargo block, and the Zebda service module, and the Progress cargo vehicle is parked at the top. Following the Space Shuttle rendezvous and docking, the ISS configuration will be augmented by the 2 elements delivered by Discovery, the Z1 truss and PMA-3. These 2 elements, which is the pressurized mating adapter, so the 2 elements depicted in red down here at the bottom will be installed using the Space Shuttle's robotic arm and be connected to the ISS during 4 spacewalks. The multinational nature of both STS-92 crew and ISS are reflected in the multicolored astronaut office symbol. And there you've got the astronaut office symbol up at the top left, the red for Russia, yellow, blue, and yellow there. So Pam Melroy was the pilot on this. She was. I don't have how many times they were in space on this one. Okay. Brian Duffy's the commander. It was the 100th Space Shuttle mission. Okay, STS-92, a lot of them designated numbers, but not launched in that number. You got Koichi Wakata, who I've met. Here was a joke in 2000. All the rage was the Mike Myers movie of, what am I thinking of? Mini Me, a parody of James Bond movies. What were those called? Somebody's going to tell me online here. Uh, and Anyway, they had a lot of fun with that. There's Lopez Allegra. I wanted to say that was Wakata, Leroy Chow, Peter Wissoff, Michael Lopez Allegra, and Bill MacArthur, who also we've talked to. Brian Duffy's in the Hall of Fame. I think MacArthur is. And Pam Melroy. Those are the three I've talked to, that group. And there's L.A. doing a spacewalk, connecting some of the integral parts that needed to on the unit they brought up there. So, well, that's STS 92, 11, almost 12 days in space. Launched October 11th, 2000, and landed October 24th. Well, Atlantis was also in space again. That was Discovery there. Atlantis was in space for the Galileo Jupiter spacecraft that was in its cargo bay. Launched October 18th, 1989, up there for 5 quick days with Don Williams, Mike McCulley, his one and only flight, and mission specialist Franklin Chang Diaz, his second. We go this way with them. Show you the whole crew there in a minute. We've got a scrapbook here that somebody gave us years ago that's got those newspaper clippings of Mike there. And Mike has been a very good supporter of our museum. He's always been there at just, oh man, I'm under hundreds of events, I'm sure, over the last 20, 25 years he's helped the museum. So, and here's the whole crew. I love this shot. The 5 of them. Of course, one of them, Baker, Eileen Baker, she'd be down in the bottom. No, that's her in the back there. No, it's Shannon Lucid in the back there. Yeah, 2 ladies on this flight there. So you got Williams, who's passed away. You got Mike McCulley. In the middle, you've got Franklin Chang Diaz. You got Shannon Lucid on the left side and standing up, and she'll fly in the mid deck, or in the bottom there, is Ellen Ochoa. So they all just spent 5 days together in space. Probably trained 2 years for that. There's a beautiful launch. We just wanted to give you a taste of the patch. Talks about the Galileo spacecraft. Jupiter's over on the right. The science that this did was incredible. It was one of the best missions of NASA ever. The triangular shape of the patch represents forward motion and entering into new frontiers of science, engineering, technology. There you go, Marty. The tip of the spear is what this represents, that triangle. The Galileo spacecraft overlaying the orbiter symbolizes the joining together of both manned and unmanned space programs in order to maximize the capabilities of each. Expansion of our knowledge of the solar system and other worlds, leading to a better understanding of our own planet, is indicated by the sunrise expanding across Earth's horizon. In the distance is Jupiter, a unique and unknown world awaiting arrival of Galileo to help unlock its secrets. And it did unlock a lot of secrets. Meanwhile, the space shuttle remains in Earth orbit, continuing to explore the near-Earth environment. They had an IMAX camera on board for the deploy, and beautiful launch by, I think that's Tom Usiak and crew, his brother Mark. 12:54 p.m., so a little before 1 o'clock in the afternoon on a beautiful, what looks October day. And there you got Mr. Williams and Ellen Ochoa, who became director of Johnson Space Center, first Hispanic woman in space. Okay, we talked about her during Hispanic Month last month. This was the Baker's one of her first of three. Shannon Lucid, 2 of 5 missions. Franklin Chang Diaz, 2 of 7. Don Williams, 2 of 2. And Mike McCulley's one and only launch. Now, he wanted to fly again, but he was told that it would have to probably wait 3, 4, maybe 5 years to fly, and he'd be a pilot, not a commander. And he decided that he was going to go into management. And Mike on the far right there become a beloved leader of United Space Alliance. I believe also before that he went to Lockheed, I believe. And there is the Galileo spacecraft in its cradle to be sent to Jupiter with a payload assist motor on the bottom. There is all this is engine, the white stuff done there, and you just barely see the radar, the Galileo there before it deployed its radar dish that didn't deploy all the way. Wish they'd done that in the payload bay so they could have fixed it maybe with a spacewalk. And it lasted about 12 years after a 2-year trip to Jupiter. So, well, we've gone through 2 of our 4 shuttles of the month of October, and the last 2 really have created a baseline for what's been going on for now 25 years in November of continuous occupation of the space station. Let's look at STS-58. Shows Columbia in orbit around Earth with a Space Lab module in its payload bay. There's Space Lab and there's Space Hab. Space Lab is the larger. It has more life sciences in it. The Space Hab is shorter and did some 20 missions, and it we lost it in Columbia in its cargo bay. But let me get my there we go. Austin Powers. That's what I knew somebody would come through. All right, Austin Powers. And Dave Stangy's making a joke about fried pickles that he doesn't like. That Cliffy was just crazy about fried pickles here in America, Marty. He never had them before. Like a lot of stuff we haven't tried or will ever try from Australia. All right, dedicated lab mission. Let's talk about the patch here. Space Lab and the lettering Space Lab Sciences 2 highlight the primary mission of the second space shuttle flight dedicated to life science research. Life science research means human life science, living creatures. How do they exist in space? From amoeba to rodents to humans. An extended duration orbiter support pallet is shown in the aft payload bay. That's the yellow, and right behind it there, we did a talk on that for the crew, for the space shuttle to be more than 10 days in space with this large of a crew of 7. It needed to have more oxygen tanks and fuel tanks and stuff like that. And that's a whole rack that they put at the very back called the EDO. And I learned that by staying curious with you folks. The EDO, Extended Duration Orbiter. And it stresses the 2-week duration of this longest space shuttle mission to date. The hexagonal shape of the patch, again, the shape of the patch, means it's the carbon ring, a molecule common to all living organisms. The basis of life. Can't have life like we know it without carbon. Encircling the inner border of the patch is a double helix of DNA representing the genetic basis of life. Its yellow background is the color of the sun, the energy source for all life on Earth. Both medical and veterinary caduci are shown to represent the STS-58 life science experiments. Now, you could have got by me the veterinary caduci right there, Marty. The caduceus of medicines on the far left. So I learned something there. Finally, the position of the spacecraft in orbit about Earth with the United States in the background symbolizes the ongoing support of the American people for scientific research intended to benefit all mankind. This patch was designed by the STS-58 crew. All right, now the crew, and there's more to it here. I don't think it talked about, Well, the double helix circling it. Yeah, the red and yellow and all that stuff. So, and you've got what a great crew. John Blaha, the commander. He is in the upper left there, fourth of five missions. His last was on the Mir space station. Richard A. Searfoss, he's passed away. His first of three. Mission specialist Ray Seddon, her last mission of three, one of the first six astronauts chosen, women. Bill MacArthur. So Bill's flown twice on our four highlighted this month. David Wolf, that was Bill's first of four flights. David Wolf, one of four. Shannon Lucid, her fourth of five flights. And payload specialist Martin Fettman, he was just one going up for the veterinary sciences, I think, there. 14 experiments conducted on physiology, cardiovascular, and cardiopulmonary things, musculoskeletal, and neuroscience. 8 of the experiments focused on the crew. They collected more than 650 samples. Wow, of each other. Increasing the statistical base for life science researches. A lot of doctorate degrees came out of that. Fluid electrolyte regulation during spaceflight. Regulation of blood volume during spaceflight. Pulmonary function during weightlessness. And then they got into the rodents, studying rats. How about they actually dissected 6 rodents, were euthanized during the mission, yielding the first tissue samples collected in space and not altered by re-exposure to Earth's gravity. So they actually had also a shuttle amateur radio experiment on there. SAREX, talking to people around the world, is that a lot of astronauts become ham radio operators, even to talk to their families. There's the launch, a UCAC family launch. By the way, we have the camera that took this picture now on display in our museum. And I think that's so cool, Marty. And I always love this shot. Wow, from a T-38 chase plane. Right down there's the Cape, pad 39. Don't get me lying here. Let's make sure I got the pad right before I get corrected right away. I would always guess 39A, but it was, no, it doesn't say. All right. Nope, doesn't say which pad it was launched from. In 1993, it was pad 39A, right, Marty?
It looks like it.
B didn't come around till when? Launched October 18th, landed November 1st. That's 14 days in space. Quite a mission. And Shannon Lucid become the most experienced female astronaut with 800 and some hours. You ever met Blaha, Marty? Really like him. He's really a good guy. I love that shot. That's one of my favorite.
Yeah, I never met him.
He was a mission specialist, a pilot, a commander, and then spent 3 months or 5 months on the Mir space station. What a guy! All right, our final shuttle of the month is a soccer ball, is what I'm going to guess this is, but I'm sure that's not right. Let's consult our book here of Mission Patch Handbook and see what's going on here with STS-73. Okay, launched October 20th, 1995, so we'll be celebrating 30 years of that mission. A 9:53 a.m. flight with 2, 4, 6, 7 astronauts. I've met 2 of them, 3 of them actually. Talked at length with 2 of them. So that would be Kathy Thornton and Lopez Allegra there. So LA, let's see, we've got the patch. The crew of STS-73, the second flight of the United States Microgravity Laboratory, USML, depicts Space Shuttle Columbia in the vastness of space. In the foreground are the classic regular polyhedrons that were investigated by Plato and later Euclid. All right. The Pythagoreans were also fascinated by the symmetrical three-dimensional objects whose sides are the same regular polygon. The tetrahedron, the cube, and the octagon, and the icosahedron were each associated with the natural elements at that time. All right. And so that's what is going on with this structure in here, these structures there, okay, are celebrating actually the Pythagoreans, who with Plato and Euclid were very much into geometry and ratios and fascinated by all that because it works. The natural elements at the time of these great thinkers, 2,000 years ago, was fire. And on this mission, they did combustion science, earth, and they did a lot of crystallography, air and water, which was fluid physics. An additional icon shown as the infinity symbol, there on the bottom right, was added to further convey the discipline of fluid mechanics. The shape of the emblem represents a fifth polyhedron, a dodecahedron, which the Pythagoreans thought corresponded to a fifth element that represented the cosmos. A lot of geometry going on in this patch. Very cool. And this is a crew of well-seasoned astronauts. There they are walking out. I think this is a USAC family. Maybe this is your shot there, Carlton Bailey. Yes, it did have quite a few scrubs, Tom Celentano. 6 scrubs, a record for the most. Could you imagine getting ready? Well, Marty can because you did. You remember those scrubs, or kind of remember that you've had many scrubs, I'm sure. But what was so hard to get this baby off the ground? This was Columbia. You remember?
No, I don't remember. I'm sure part of it was probably weather.
Well, let's see. One was a tanking leak. Another one was weather during a Hurricane Opal. Good one, Marty. Then an external tank load had accidentally drained some of the hydraulic system. T minus 20 seconds on October 2nd when the master events controller failed to operate and had to be replaced. Whatever a master events controller is, MEC1. Sounds pretty important, huh? Then they got postponed at 5 minutes due to low clouds and rain on October 15th. And so they got their rally caps on, turned their hats on backwards. They didn't put them on backwards there. But that is being led out by Ken Bauer Sox, and his nickname Sox. He was very important. This was his third of 5 flights. Kent Rominger, Romo they call him. Rommel's his nickname, Rommel. His first of 5 missions. That's an astronaut I'm interested. He's got a mustache. Payload Commander Kathy Thornton, she's on the far left there. This is her 4th of 4 flights, Marty. So after 6 scrubs, she's probably like, hey, 3's enough. We've met Kathy before. She's just a wonderful, smart lady. After she retired from NASA, she spent 20 years as a physics professor at University of Virginia in Charlottesville, where at her alma mater. You got Katie Coleman there in the group. Her first of 2 flights. Michael Lopez Allegra, his first of 3. Fred Leslie and Albert Sacco were one and done astronauts. Albert Sacco's from the great state of New York, Marty, right? And I always love this remote shot there. Well, you see this on other, it's a remote camera stationed at the pad there, but right up the engines into the sun that is blotted out by some high deck clouds there. And the landing of this mission. Just some highlights. The research was had direct applications on Earth. They did high-tech crystals, metals, alloys, ceramics. For the first time, a fiber-supported droplet combustion experiment. More than 25 droplets of a variety of fuels were ignited, confirming theories about how fuels burn in microgravity, important to put out a fire. The data confirms scientific predictions about burn rate and the amount of fuel left over after the fire goes out. This will allow investigators to refine theories and possibly develop new ones about byproducts such as soot and smog. And our fire, by the way, at the museum, the kitchen's almost cleaned up completely. Thank you for your help on that. We just need to buy some ceiling tiles, and we're going to use your donated money to do that. Let's see here. 5 potatoes were grown on orbit from tubers in the Astrocultural Plant Growth Facility, and demonstrated that edible foods could be grown in space. And they had the most protein crystal growth samples, 1,500, were flown on there. And 8 semiconductor crystals were grown, also a very thin crystal, and 2 crystals which could lead to products such as computer chips that are faster and use less power than traditional ones. So that's a great behind-the-scenes stuff of what this mission's all about. Landed on November 5th, 1995, 6:45 a.m. This was in the twilight before sunrise at Kennedy Space Center. After going 6.5 million miles around the Earth, Tom Usiak, or Mark, his brother, was there to capture it. And when we had Carlton Bailey on talking about capturing these landings, they're not easy to do. You've really got to be on your toes and quick on the shutter, right? So hope that y'all enjoyed looking back at the shuttles of the month of October. RG Jubilee, thank you for watching. Doug Forrest is there today. Steve Jokums, Mitch Rothman, Dave Stange, Carlton Bailey, Mark Thel, Gary Gerald, Tom Celentano, among you all watching episode number 1392, I believe, in the books. Thank you, Marty, for helping us restart. I appreciate that a lot. And we do appreciate everything Marty does. He, after all, is a volunteer. Him and Connie would have to arm wrestle to see who in the last 5 years has been the most valuable volunteer. But Marty's been volunteer way before even I knew this place existed. And we appreciate him a lot and what all you've done. So, Marty, anything over there we got to clean up before we button up this episode of Stay Curious?
Nope, we're cleaned up.
Nothing better than a cup of coffee on Stay Curious, but you all enjoying your treats and so forth today. Thank you for watching. Tomorrow we've got Eric Baker to take us behind the scene of launch control, some things being done there. Hope that you can get out maybe and see Jay Honeycutt's movie. Go out there and see Joni Higginbotham. I'm going to get out there tomorrow, Marty. Is she there till Sunday?
No.
Saturday?
Saturday's the last day.
Okay, Saturday. And then who comes in? Charlie Walker?
Yeah, Charlie Walker.
All right.
He's here for 6 days.
Very good. All right. Well, we'll get out with Charlie too, but I'll be seeing Joan tomorrow. And if you're local, go to Melbourne Premier Theater at Oaks and see two wonderful documentaries. Friday night at 6 is Jay Honeycutt's A Brief History of Human Spaceflight, and then Saturday at 3:40 is the main movie being shown at this film festival, which is the 37th of this Melbourne independent group. The Martin Caden story by our good friend Jim Lewis, and we helped him a little bit raise some money for this movie, this documentary. I saw it. It's way cool, for sure. So what a character, Martin Caden. So thanks again to everybody watching and my good friend Marty Winkle. Thank you, Connie McDaniel, who just walked in here to arm wrestle Marty to see who's the best volunteer, right? No, Marty says nope. He don't wrestle girls. He's a gentleman. So until tomorrow with Eric Baker, test project engineer, to enlighten you about launching them shuttles, I'm Mark Marquette saying I can't wait to see you in our museum to bridge the space between us. Cheers.